I say hey to my Heritage and Altmayer students. How you guys doing? Hopefully everybody's doing all right. We're going to be working on part 2 today of our cupcakes, and it's going to be coloring. So what I want you to make sure of is that when you're ready to go, you've got your cupcake drawing all good, and then the item I'm going to be using today to color with is crayons. It just seems to be a little bit faster, and I like the look of the crayons for this project because normally I'd want to do oil pastels, and crayons are the closest thing to oil pastels that you probably have. Now, if you do have oil pastels, you can use them for this project, but you just do want a lot of color variety for this. So I'm choosing crayons. I know I have more colored pencils, but I want to do something with crayons, something a little bit different. All right, so I have my cupcake, and it's all good to go. Now I just need to figure out where I'm going to start. So I'm actually going to start with this paper down here, the paper that's on the cupcake. And what you want to do is you can choose any main color that you want, but you want two colors that are in that family. So let's say, for example, you want to use blue. You want two different colors of blue. Most of the time you're going to want probably something lighter and darker of blue, but you do want two separate colors. So I'm going to do that one for the paper of my cupcake. So I'm going to grab two different colored blues. So I'm going to grab a sky blue, and I'm going to grab cerulean. They should be two different colors. They look like they're two different blue colors, and that's good. If you're unsure, grab a piece of scrap paper and just practice on there and make sure that you get two. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to alternate or find a pattern with these colors. So if you notice for my cupcake paper section down here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. And it's just going to switch. This one's going to be cerulean, or the darker blue, then the lighter blue, then the darker blue, then the lighter blue, then the darker blue, then the lighter blue. Now I do want to press down fairly hard with this. I do want these colors in here to be quite bright. So when you're holding your crayon, whatever you do, don't hold it from the back of the crayon. If you press down hard and you hold it like this, you're going to snap your crayon in half. Now, even a broken crayon still colors, but it's going to be harder for you to hold. So when you want to press down harder with the crayon to get a more vibrant color, get your fingers way down by the end, and that way it'll allow you to press harder with less chance of it breaking. So I'm going to start with the light blue, actually with this first spot. So in this section right here of the paper cupcake, I want you to press down hard. Now again, my camera is probably shaking on the video. I apologize. That's the one bad thing of having my camera attached to the table. Kind of gets a little wobbly. Now please make sure that when you're coloring in something, don't do half-hearted coloring. All right, go all out. If you're coloring in this area, try not to leave white spots in there. It just looks like you're being sloppy and you're not caring about your coloring. Let's start caring, okay? All right, so there's my light blue. Now I'm going to go to the little bit darker blue. Let's see if this, oh, I like that color. Cerulean is one of my favorites, actually, as far as the color blue goes. I love that color. Not too light, not too dark, just right. Reminds me of like ocean water. All right, so you color in this one. Okay, try to stay in the lines as best as you can. Sometimes we go out of the lines, and that's normal. Most of the time when students go outside of the lines, it's mainly because they are going way too fast for their own skills. If you find yourself being one of those friends that goes outside of the lines a lot when you color, it's because you're going way too quick. Just slow down. Most great art takes patience and time. That's all that you need. Now I went light, dark. Now I got to go back light again. It's a pattern. And you guys can find this pattern. So when you're doing this, you can choose two different colors of green, two different colors of yellow, two different colors of orange, but you do want a variety. Okay, you do want a lot of options and choice. So make sure that if you have like the 12 pack of colored pencils, but you have the 24 pack of crayons, use the 24 pack of crayons. It's going to give you more choice for this. Light, dark, light. What goes here? Dark. Then after dark is light. And then after light is dark. All right, so I'm going to color one more in here, and then I'll move on. But again, if you're going to color in and you're going to leave it like this, guys, this is unacceptable. We're better than this. If you do something like this, I will most likely send it back to you in Seesaw, and I'm going to have you fill it in. So don't do anything like this. We are better than that. I am seeing some incredible coloring by my kindergartners even, that when I'm asking them to color in, like the colorful birds, and they had their round bird, They colored it in completely and beautifully. It looked really great. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Now to save some time, I'm not going to color in these last two, but this would be light and this would be dark. All right. Now I'm going to move on to one of the trickier parts. It's the smallest part actually, and that's the cherry. So I'm going to center the cherry a little bit. Now these two colors I'm going to put back in my bin. I don't need them now. Now the color of a cherry is red. We're going to go with a red, except for this as well, you want two colors of red. And the only real good choices that I actually have out of my bucket are probably pink and regular red. I'm going to use those two. But the first thing I want to take care of is the cherry stem. So I'm going to grab a brown color that I've got right here. And I might as well just take care of the cherry stem right here. So I'm going to color it in brown. It almost looks like a reddish brown. I like that color. What is this one? It's in my packet called chestnut. I like that one. It's not quite brown, not quite red. It's kind of in between. So now I'm just going to put this one back. Okay. Now for the cherry, it's a little tricky. If you remember the Larry Loudmouth in his eyes, there's that little white circle that I told you guys not to color. There is also, I think, a white circle in the colorful emus as well. There is no circle in this one yet. We haven't drawn it. I'm going to have you take your light colored red crayon, which is pink. I'm going to take pink, and I'm just going to draw a circle. Inside of that circle, I want to leave white. That is like a highlight. That is the light that's reflecting or bouncing off of the cherry. So we want to leave that white. So everything around it inside of the cherry, though, I am going to color in. Okay, color it in. You can see this in my instructions, too, and the pictures I put in Seesaw on the document. They're all on there, too. You can follow that. All right. Okay, color that in pink. Now, some of you might say, well, Mr. Johnson, now do I just take the red and go over the pink with this? You can. This is a darker color. It's going to actually go right over this, but I'm not coloring in right over the pink that I just used. Instead, I'm going to make like this reddish ring just on the inside part of the cherry. So I'm going to make it look like there's light on the cherry. The light is bouncing off the cherry. And by doing that, I'm taking the red and I'm making it look like it's in layers. So the light is directly bouncing off the white space of the cherry. Then pink is nothing more than light red anyway. So I'm making it go light, medium, dark without actually coloring it in with value. I wanted to put that little pink color in there just to add a little bit more. Okay, so I've got white, a little bit of pink, and then I did a ring of red just on the inside, and my cherry is finished. Nothing big, nothing huge. All right, now I'm going to move on to the frosting. The frosting is actually, most of it is going to be left alone. Leave it white. But the light is coming in this way in my picture because that's where I've got the circle for my cherry is right here. So on the back side of the frosting, on my 3 levels of frosting, I am going to color in this just a little bit. So first I need to figure out what color I'm going to use for that. And you can use any bright colors. This is about bright colors. Wayne Thiebaud wanted to use bright colors in his food, so we want to do the same thing here. So I am going to choose, let's see, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I am going to choose a very light purple color. How about that? I gotta find one though. Let's see. This one looks good. This one is called Wisteria. I don't know if you would have that in your pack, but you can just pick like a purple, light purple, or a light color, light green. If you want to use pink, you can do that over there. Yellow, orange. I used orange in my example on the document. I like that. But I'm going to choose this light purple color. Now, I am going to actually draw a line with my crayon first to figure out where I'm going to have this darker, like shadow of my frosting. So I'm going to start up here at like this little curly Q point that I have. And I'm going to draw and follow this same kind of line right here, except I'm going to go like that. This same line, I just copied it right here with a crayon. Now I'm going to go to the next layer, and the same thing. I'm going to start right here in the middle, because that's kind of in the middle. I'm going to go here and down and around. I matched this. This goes up and around. This goes up and around. Now I have one more layer, and I'm going to do the same thing right here. Now you might be saying, well, why did you put those lines in there, Mr. Johnson? That doesn't make sense. Well, now I'm actually going to color in this side of my frosting using the same color I just drew with this line. Okay, I'm coloring in kind of light, just for right now. All right, my coloring might not be the best. I'm trying to do this quite fast to save us some time. So you color in your frosting, and notice that I'm going to leave the other section over here completely blank because we're going to be adding some sprinkles in later. And the sprinkles, you want those to be nice bright colors, and the bright colors will show up better if you actually leave those white, like white frosting. Okay, so again, I chose purple for this side of my frosting. You can choose orange or red. You just want to pick a color from the rainbow. Don't pick browns, don't pick black or gray, don't pick anything like that. Pick a color. Wayne Thiebaud used a lot of bright colors. I want you to use bright colors as well. There is like the shadows or the darker spot of my frosting. Because remember, the light is coming in this way, which means the other side is a bit darker. Okay? So now I am going to work on some of my sprinkles. That's what I've got next. So you want to find a collection of about 4 or 5 bright colors. All right? I'm just going to grab whatever I can find here. Grab some yellow. I've got, I'm going to take out this yellow green. I'm going to put in this other blue color. And then finally, this dark magenta. Okay? So I've got 4. If you want to use 5 or 6, you can. That's okay. I just want to use a handful of colors. So now what I want to do for my sprinkles are short little tiny lines, like tally marks. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you a different way, too, that you could do another kind of sprinkle. The tally marks are a bit faster. So if you want to do the tally marks, you can. So you just start doing tally marks, but leave some space in between because I have other colors to put in here. And I'm going to draw the sprinkles right over this purple I did, too. It's okay. You can go right over that. But these are the tally marks. Now, look, I leave a little bit of space in there, because I have 3 other colors I need to put in there. Now, if you want to do other kinds of sprinkles, you could do this. It's almost like I'm drawing an oval and then coloring it in. You can do this if you want, but notice how small they are. They're smaller than my thumbnail. I want to keep them small so I can add in more colors. And you guys know that sprinkles are very small. Okay, you don't want to make these big. So you could do that too. So now I'm going to take the next color. I'm going to put this one in between the magenta one that I just did. Oh, I also can't forget, I got this little patch up here as well. I can put some up there, so don't forget about that. Okay, sprinkles. Again, put them on the frosting, the dark colored that you put over there. And if you want to do like the kind of ovally looking sprinkles, you can do that up here. Then you go on to your next color and you fill that in. And again, you can see I didn't do everything. I'm going kind of fast. Then you can take my yellow and put my yellow in there. All right, again, a lot of tallies. A lot of tallies if you're going to do this. Just quick little lines. And you want to put them in all sorts of different directions. Like somebody actually dropped the sprinkles on there. The sprinkles aren't all going to land perfectly straight up and down like this when they land on any of the food that like cupcakes or cakes or anything like that. They're going to be in all sorts of different directions. But they are just straight little lines, but you can put them in any direction. All right, then I have my last color in here, which would be blue. So the blue actually, ooh, that looks nice with those other colors in there. So as you can see with mine actually looks like there's a lot of sprinkles, like somebody really just dumped them on there. I like that. But notice I can still see some white of my frosting underneath, and that's what you want too. Okay, and if you wanted to do the oval sprinkles, you can do that. Oval sprinkles, I forgot to put some yellow. And whatever you put down here, you want to put up here and there as well. I left this empty to save some time, but you see in my example, I have sprinkles all over on there. All right? So then the last part is to take care of the background and the table. Now, Wayne Thiebaud tended to put the background and the table to be very kind of non-exciting colors. He did not want your eyes to take away from the food item that he'd put in there. So a lot of times he would use a lot of very light yellows or tans or browns and things like that, more neutral colors. And you can do that if you want, but if you want to use a bright color for the background, you can. But here's something that I want you to do. I want you to color the table and the background right here, like this back wall, using a color that you wish, but I want you to press down very, very lightly. And I'm going to show you how to do that. My second, third, and fourth grade students, you know how to do this. We've been working on it for years. Kindergarten and first grade, this might be new to you. So I'm going to give you a little tip on how to do this. So I'm going to take the background right here. And I'm going to take, let's see. I'm going to take this gray color right here. Okay. Actually, no, gray is not very exciting. I'm going to pick something else. Let's see. I'll just take, I already used chestnut. I'm going to use this color. It's called sepia. It's like a dark, dark brown. Okay. Now, if I flip my paper over, and if I just want to test it out, I'm going to show you. This is what color it is when I press down really hard. I don't want it that dark. I want it light. So in order to, if I want to press dark, I hold down at the end and I press down hard. If I want this light, I'm going to hold the crayon a little bit further out. And you can see that the color, it's the same color. It's just a different, lighter version of it. And that's what I want. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to start coloring in the background. Yes, that does mean that you want to color around things. Now, crayons are very showy, meaning that it's going to show you every direction that you color in. So when you're coloring this, especially for my older students, I want you to make sure that you color in the same direction the whole time if you can, because it's going to make the picture look a lot cleaner and nicer when you are done. So color right to the edges, but I'm pressing down soft. I'm barely touching the crayon to the paper. Okay, go around the cherry, and I would follow that all the way around here, down there, all the way on this side, and that line right there tells me that's where the wall stops and the table starts. Right there. So this is the table. So now I would pick a different color for that, and let's say I want to take this wild strawberry. It's like a light red, but that same idea, very lightly. So instead of holding it like this to press down hard, I'm going to put my fingers in the back and just gently press down. It's a nice color, actually. So I'm trying to color one way. I'm kind of coloring at an angle. But color it in full. Get right to the edges of your paper, please. None of this scribble coloring business. We're beyond that, guys. We are much better than that. Okay, so if you color like that, I'm going to send it back and I'm going to ask you to do a better job. I know that you can, so prove it. Many of you guys are such fantastic artists. Don't do half of a job. If you're going to do the job, make sure you do it really well the first time. Okay? And of course, I would continue to color this and I would fill in this as well. Okay? So this cupcake is not finished, but I'm going to show you one that is. This is the one that's in the document. There it is. Now you notice I added a few things in this. I added in a shadow underneath the cupcake because that's what we had for the gumball machines as well for years. So the little shadow makes it look a little bit more 3D, like it's actually sitting on the table. And then the frosting color I did here, I put a little bit just behind the cherry to show that the cherry is actually putting a little shadow on there too. But my table and my wall, very light. Everything else, nice and bold. So this is what we're going to be working on. You can pause and play the video at your speed, or you can just look at the document as well, but don't go by just the document. Watch the lesson, you'll follow it, and you should do a fantastic job with coloring this in. Coloring actually did not take me very long. It took me only about 15 to 20 minutes to do the whole thing, but I go slow and I take my time. I would like you to do the same. Then when you're done with this, take a picture of it. Make sure you put it into the part 2 in Seesaw of the cupcakes. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with for this. Oh, there's the bell. That means I got to finish up. But when you get done with this, just take a picture, send it to me. I cannot wait. And yeah, I'm getting hungry for some cupcakes. Good luck, guys.